welcome. It's basically, it's not a league race or anything like that. We're just setting up lobbies for 4 races, 25% raises tonight. I believe it's Canada, France, Belgium, and the United States. 25% distances, as I mentioned, 30-minute short practice, short qualifying, yada yada yada. I'm just waiting for Whip. He may decide to broadcast as well. This was a last second thing that I decided to broadcast because I was bored. And yeah, we've done some practice off camera, obviously, just to get back into the swing, and seeing as this is Canadian Grand Prix weekend, figured we'd start with Canada. Our logic is flawless. Tonight at least. Whip has stepped away. I'm not sure how long he'll be gone. That's why I'm rambling like an idiot. And yeah, we'll be driving the Haas. Oh, I guess we're just set up to do just the one race. We may do more. Do not know. Unless he changes it. I think he can still change it. We actually haven't started. You could add more tracks, so it's not technically a lie. Oh yeah, and the cars are on equal. So.
What's that?
Welcome back. I'm broadcasting.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
oh.
I just figure what the hell. Just for
okay.
the hell of it. Yeah.
Let's see it.
And set up a couple more races. Welcome to the broadcast. I don't have my messages, or like the messages or whatever, comments set up. So I'll try and I'll get that going on my iPad so I can glance at it. But if you ask a question and it takes a couple of seconds for me to answer, that's why. I don't like making my screen a little smaller to have the messages on it, because my eyes are bad enough as it is. Makes it kind of difficult to read questions, even though they're right on my eye line. It's just really small and it's kind of blurry. But yeah. Okay. Comments are up. You can ask questions if you feel like it. If not, and you just want to watch them, that's great too. But thank you for tuning in. We will get started soon. Or we'll get starn. I don't know. Oh, I just realized that my setups are on the iPad too. I normally drive a McLaren, so all of my setups are for my McLaren. But we did enough practicing earlier that I should be able to remember my setup. I mean, my memory's bad, but I don't think it's that bad. Let's see if... okay. Alright. Oh, 3 out of the 4. Alright. Okay, Rubens Barrichello in 2004. Nobody. And Seb 2 years ago. Holy shit, it's a 7-kilometer long track. You gotta love Spa. All these tracks are clockwise. I think there's only like 4 anti-clockwise tracks on the calendar. Let's see if I can remember which ones. Okay. Yeah, no. I know the United States is anti-clockwise. Or counterclockwise. Melbourne is clockwise. Bahrain clockwise. China clockwise. Azerbaijan, that's anti-clockwise. Spain clockwise. Monaco is a big mess, but it is clockwise. Canada clockwise. France clockwise. Germany clockwise. Silverstone clockwise, yeah. And then there's Hungary clockwise. Oh wait, yeah, it's clockwise. What's after Hungary? Is it Spa that's after Hungary? Oh wait, Germany. Oh, Austria.
It's Germany, Hungary, then Spa.
Yeah. Malaysia is
Not on the calendar anymore.
or not Malaysia. Yeah, I'm thinking Singapore. Sorry, but yes, thank you. Singapore is that's anti-clockwise. Okay.
Yes, it is
And
anti-clockwise.
then Russia is
There's only
clockwise.
4 anti-clockwise tracks on the calendar.
Yeah.
And even then, like,
And Abu Dhabi.
next year there's only going to be like 3.
And Brazil. Brazil and Abu Dhabi back-to-back anti-clockwise tracks.
Yeah, okay, yeah, so 6. Never mind, I was wrong. I know they're getting rid of a couple of them to supplement Zandvoort and Hanoi.
Yeah, they still haven't come up with anything for whether Silverstone's going to re-sign. I'm happy if they have a 24 race calendar. I'm happy with that. But like they're talking about shortening the weekends, which I would agree with. Like have 1 2-hour practice and then go into qualifying. I would love that.
Or 2 1-hour practice, that wouldn't be bad.
Yeah. But yeah, well, if they have just the 1 2-hour on the Friday, and then or just have the practice on the Friday or practice on the Saturday, and then qualifying on Saturday, and then the race on Sunday. Have Friday like a fan experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that. I'm all set to go whenever you are. Oh, you are, okay. So you took the United States off of the track list?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because if we crash out, if we crash out in practice here, I don't want to restart or anything like that. Oh, same with the race. Got into that where like the first race of the season where we kept restarting and it just got frustrating to the point of annoyance, or annoying to the point of frustration, and then rage quitting for me. Soured me on the game for a couple of months. I had to remember to cut out that FOM thing. Okay. Oh, practice. Yeah, look at all these setups. Figure if I've got the space for it, I might as well make all these setups. But they're only for my McLaren. Some of them, like this one, Red Bull.
Okay, just want to remind you to keep an eye on your tyre usage. We have to give 2 sets back at the end of this session, so they'll be unavailable for the rest of the weekend. We'll hand over the 2 most worn sets, so don't ruin tyres you might want to use later.
Jeff, shut up. Holy hell. every single time. I know about tires.
I know, it's so flipping annoying. Excuse me.
Okay, this is just going to be a long run. I'm not going to try and set any fast laps.
I'm just going to qualify on that.
Of course, anybody watching sees my setup and thinks, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, "This is how I drive. You drive your way. Shut the hell up." I was gonna say "shut the fuck up," but then I realized, some people might not like me saying that. So, but yeah, this the setup that I'm comfortable with.
Okay,
It may not get the
setup.
best out of a car, but I'm happy with it. That was well brought up.
Yes, it was. Somebody's already entered a comment. Why can't I see it?
See what?
The comment that somebody has already entered. No, you cannot join, sorry. It's already set up for 2 people.
Oh, who's that?
It's the viewer.
Oh, I know it was a viewer. I'm just wondering if I recognized who it was. If not, hello, I'm Bullet Gaming. Very nice to almost meet you.
We have it set up just for the 2 of us.
Put it like a rubber out on track. Try to take it easy for a
co-op
couple of
thing
laps.
right now.
Yeah, for crips and giggles.
Had a 3rd person would be kind of in the way of what we're trying to set up. No offense. I'm not saying that you would be a crappy driver or anything like that. It's just we have we just have a thing.
Yeah. Chances are, like we may do a couple of lobbies where we bring viewers in. Just a dicking around kind of thing.
This is also like a little dicking around race. If you want to join in the next one we do, then yeah, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah. Oh shit, I thought I was following Vettel, but I'm following Raikkonen. It's just too far away for me to see the name over it.
To tell you the truth, we're probably just going to run a little bit of a practice, and we'll do our quali and go straight into the race. So, the 25% distance race, so probably not that long.
Might even be shorter.
Might even be shorter, yes. We have standard set to full and everything. Oh shit, I'm flagged out there.
Okay, just want to remind you to keep an eye on your tyre temperatures, which you can do on the temperature
Don't
panel
care
of
about
the
the tire
MFD.
temperature.
We monitor carcass temperature and surface temperature, and you'll get the best performance when they're both inside a normal operating window. Surface temps tend to fluctuate.
Oh, I had my first puncture the other week. Almost a year into having the game, I got my first puncture. And it was weird. I got hit from behind by another car, and I think it was the front or rear tire on the opposite side got punctured. Made absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. I figured that the side that I got hit by the other car would have been punctured, but nope. It was, I think it was the front left that got punctured, and I got hit in the back right. Made absolutely no sense. Yeah. And it was on a set of tires that I only had 2 for the weekend. And I was on my outlap when it happened. So those tires were gone to me for the entire weekend. Actually, it happened in qualifying, so it annoyed me to no end. But I lost a set of qualifying tires because someone couldn't brake properly. Nice. I just saw your name, but I didn't see the time.
1:12.5.
Ah, cool. Are you on hypers or ultras?
Hypers.
Okay.
I told you I'm doing another quali soon.
Yeah. Oh, great. Finally get around Raikkonen, and now I've got Van Dorn in front of me. Although with equal cars, it's not as bad as it sounds, but...
Hold on. Set up, yeah. Alright, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying that I'm now stuck behind Van Dorn.
That sucks.
And he's fought me all the way through turn 1 and 2. But I got a hell of a run out of that corner and was able to pass him, but my lap is already screwed. I like that they will fight for their positions, but I don't like when they hook your back tire and like the only way of unhooking your tire or your car is to slow down. The AI will not slow down. They will just continue to push your car around. So one thing I don't like about the more aggressive AI. Restart lap.
Well, I'm ready to go to quali if you are.
Yeah, give me a couple of laps. I just want to... I've got too much fuel to do a fast run, but I'll see what I can do on a fast run. Just want to charge up my battery. %73% charge.
Piggy? Piggy?
Wait.
Come here.
The first sector.
You're turning your nose up at cricket.
across the
ninth in the speed trap.
We'll receive you at the end of this lap.
Cool.
So, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I have the second screen app on my phone, but I don't understand what how to use the second screen other than the remote and button or the keypad shit. How do you use the actual second screen?
Well, you just tap on the second screen, and then it brings you to a black screen with you know, like a speech bubble, a keyboard, and then like 2 numbers or something like that in the bottom right. 1 and 2. I hit the second screen and then the talk bubble, and that'll show your questions. That's about as far as I go. Like, when I first got it, I thought it would show me what I'm watching on the screen, thinking that's what seconds, but it just puts your questions there so that you can see them, although you still have to take your eyes away from the screen in order to see it.
Of course.
And it won't show any...
You do it on the fucking supers? God damn you.
I had about
so far,
7 laps of fuel
lap is a
when I did
1:11.5.
I basically just went like flat out in like 95% of the track, but when I came to the chicane by the Wall of Champions, slowed down. So like I lost a little bit of time going through there, but I gained a lot of it back other parts of the track. And I don't do a lot of steering input changes when I'm going like straight. I just try and stay off the steering and correct only when needed. It's easy to do that on this kind of a track where there are a lot of straights. But you know, other road tracks you do have to do a lot of inputs. I still haven't... I think I'm going to stay with my tire pressure the way it is. Just set it up for race trim instead of quali trim. So yeah, I'm ready to advance to qualifying if you are. Look at the race director. No incidents, woohoo! Gotta remember to retire from section. We got so used to doing quick to the main menu when we would reset. Didn't want to mess that up. So did I have to cough.
Second off the pace. Fuck.
I just realized I should have been practicing on the Ultras because that's the tire I'm going to start on. I probably will do the next stint on the supers. But I like that they've changed the color coding for the tires this year, but they went and messed up the names.
Mm-hmm.
Or the colors. They should have gone with yellow, white, and then like orange for the hard. Because like they talk about the soft compound, with the red stripe,
Okay,
and then
the circuit is
so
clear
many
at the
of
moment.
them,
We're good to go.
usually Martin will say on the soft tires, oh no, the white stripe mediums. Like, he's the one who was complaining about all the different colors and names, and he still gets them wrong. It just, it makes me laugh. Yeah. Okay. We're now into Parc Fermé. Make one concession. Okay, actually, I'm gonna take a quick bio while the track gets rubbered in a little. Back in a minute. Headphone warning.
Alrighty.
Is your viewer still watching?
Yep.
Alright. Feel free to jump on over to bullet_gaming if you want to watch, well, it's not underscore, it's just bullet gaming. If you want to watch the show from my perspective, and then you can subscribe as well. I'm poaching your viewers.
Jackass.
Thank you. I was waiting for you to say something. I mean, like, you don't have to switch over or subscribe. If you want to subscribe, you can. But yeah, I wasn't trying to do that to poach. Damn, the Mercedes and the Williams colors, the circles on the overview map, so hard to distinguish who's who. Drives me absolutely crazy.
Indeed.
Yeti and I had one where it looked like there were 6 identical aqua blue dots because the 2 Toro Rossos had came out or had come out, and for some reason the color was off, and it just looked like 6 Mercedes were out there on the track. It was ridiculous. Oh shit, here I am looking at the bloody dots on the track. Okay, I think now's a good time to come out.
When you're ready, let's go.
Fox and Snap.
What's your provisional pole time?
1:11.656. Which I know you're gonna blow that out of the water, so I'm not even gonna cut it. I'm not even worried.
Ooh, Valkyrie, a 1:11.4. I hope I've got enough fuel for a second go?
I didn't.
Misjudged the turn into turn 5. Didn't even purple the second or the first sector. I saw that. The black is white, up is down, dogs and cats living together in massive area. There we go, purple sector 2.
Did hell freeze over?
Sorry?
Did hell freeze over?
Yeah. Well, if Van Dorn did that, then I would be questioning reality. Oh, damn it. Missed that. Battery mismanagement.
Fantastic. That was the fastest lap.
I ran out of battery charge before crossing the start finish. I think I just got past the DRS zone when I ran out of battery charge. Or deployment, sorry, not charge. I've started using hot lap when I'm in the low gears to get up to speed, and then when I hit 5th or 6th, I switch back down to overtake. Because hot lap becomes inefficient beyond, I think, 6th or 7th gear. Box this lap.
Pitting this lap then, come into the pits at the end of this lap.
Over enunciate, and I finally understand what I'm saying. Box this lap, eh? See if I understand that.
Yeah.
I had a cut on my pinky finger on my right hand that has just started to heal over, so now it feels like a callus. It's driving me crazy.
I hate those.
Yeah, just a tiny little cut, not like a paper cut or anything, but I was clipping my nails and had a little bit of, you know, like a skin flipping over, so I just peeled it and peeled it a little bit too far. And it started, I should have used the clippers to clip it at its end, but so like I had, and the pinky, the tip of your pinky is like the worst place to put a band-aid. It's just,
indeed it is.
Oh. So it finally got to the point where it was no longer hurting when I touched it, and so I took off the band-aid, and
so far,
now it just feels
our
weird.
fastest lap is a
Like
1 minute
the tip
10.
feels kind of
2.
dead. Like I might have peeled some of the, well, not the nerve endings, but it just, the skin is hardening over as it's healing. I know it's a really disgusting thing to talk about on the broadcast, and I apologize. Oh, you're the only car on the track. You're second in the speed trap, 334 clicks. Must have been one hell of a tow. Are you on your flyer, or is this an out?
This is a flyer.
Oh, okay. Second, 111.2. Oh shit! You know what I just realized? When I finished my my flying lap, I didn't slow down a lot on my cooldown lap. I didn't use up a lot of my tires, but I didn't think to save my tires on my in lap. I always forget that. Like when I cross the start finish line, I still go
We're
hard
19th
into...
in the speed trap, 325.6 kilometers per hour.
I'm 19th in the speed trap. They counted my in-lap as my speed trap time when I was off throttle. I fucking hate when they do that, because it's not indicative of my fastest trap time. I'm not on a different set of tires, so my fastest trap time should always be my fastest. I could go backwards through the speed trap, and that shouldn't count as my speed trap time. But yeah, I complain about the dumbest things, I know.
Oh, don't worry about it. But you're right, they should have counted a banker lap or something.
Holy shit, cars, what is it, 3rd through 6th aren't out on the track. Raikkonen is the only one, other than you, in the top 10 that are out. Everybody else is just parked. Danny Rick is dead last. It's a little surprising there. But they are equal cars, so... Fernando in 3rd, Seb in 4th, Lewis 5th, Bottas 6th, Raikkonen 7th, the Hulk is 8th, Ocon is 9th, Perez 10th. And now I just realized I'm going to have, I think, 1 set of Hypersofts for the race. Unless they give me the Q... I guess they're going to take at least 2 of my tires away for qualifying. I'll have 2 sets of Ultras, 1 set of Supers.
5 minutes remaining in the session.
And possibly just 1 set of Hypers. I could do like a last stint if I need to catch up tire. Or if I want to set the fastest lap. Sorry, what was that?
I said incident free so far.
Oh, good. Oh, jeez, I got the hiccups. You got the fastest sector 1 time.
1:10.6. Yeah, I know.
I've broken the 20-second barrier once in sector 1. You've done it like 3 times. I just keep getting bogged down in turns 1 and 2. So I'm fiddling around with my ERS settings. Do you change the settings a lot in a lap, or do you usually keep it on 1 setting and falls for the wall?
I keep it on 1 setting. Most of the lap. I don't change it that often. Because I snake wake if I do.
Yeah.
So far, our fastest lap is a 1:10.2.
Like in the race, I do a lot of adjusting. Qualifying laps, I try and just keep it on 1 setting, but keeping in overtake for the entire lap, you run out of deployment almost for like the final sector. But I also use hot lap when I'm trying to go through the gears just to get that extra boost. So that's what does it for me. Means I have to throw it down into not as far down as low, but I do get to medium sometimes when I go into turns. There's no point in having the ERS on when you're in a turn. You're on the brakes or coasting. It's like, might as well use that to increase your your gains. I just wish I had a steering wheel where I could, you know, increase it, I don't know, more efficiently. Because right now my ERS.
I wish I had a steering wheel too.
Yeah, right now my ERS I have mapped to the triangle and the square. Triangle to increase my ERS and square to decrease. My gear shift is X and circle.
I have my
There's
D-pad
2 minutes
to do
remaining.
that.
Yeah.
My up and down is ERS, left and right is fuel, and my gear shift is X and circle.
Yeah, my fuel is the right thumbstick, left and right for fuel for me, because I don't use it to look sideways, because I use the indicators mostly when I'm driving, and I don't do cockpit view, so you know, I can use my peripheral if cars are beside me. I don't really need to look to the side, so I figured, I'll use that for my fuel. I think my R1 is my clutch, L1 is my DRS, and the big black square or rectangle on the front of it, forgotten what that thing is called, that's just to check my tires or the damage. R3 is to cycle through the heads-up display. And I don't even know what my L3 button is for. Probably push to talk, but I never have it active, so, because we're usually in the voice chat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Alonso bailed on his flying lap.
Fourth.
Oh,
ooh,
someone...
aces. Ooh, shit, I got a trophy. What the fuck? What trophy is this? I must figure this out.
The Aces trophy?
Aces. Obtain rank of 11. Oh, cool. Alright, cool.
Oh, I thought you said you dropped the fourth.
No, Alonso dropped the fourth.
Oh, I was going to say, like, fuck, who went faster? But Lewis went faster and displaced him. No incidents? No incidents. Excellent. Alright.
Alright. Advance.
And, of course, I have to bio again. God damn. Should set up a catheter for crying out loud. Or some Depends.
With this many cars, there's always a chance of an incident on the first corner. Take care.
Okay. Back in a minute. Headphone warning in 3, 2, 1.
Ooh, man. Do I do the one stop or do I do the two? I'm tempted to do a two just because I don't want to stack. 45% wear. They're coming in at 6.
Yeah, that 2-stop will have better wear for your tires, but a slightly longer total race time. Like almost a minute, or 10 seconds. God, a minute, that would be one hell of a slow pit stop.
I'm going to put 30 kilograms of, or 30.9 kilograms of fuel in.
Right.
Just so I can keep up with you. And I am going to go to the 2-stop.
Yeah.
You're coming in or at 12.
So does that put your time at 22 minutes and like 5 seconds?
22.4885.
Wow, it was close. It was just 15 hundredths of a second, 15 thousandths of a second off. Wow. Yeah. If I did a 3-stop,
it would be 1-stop.
Yeah. If I did a 2-stop, it would be 22 minutes and 3 seconds. 1 stop is 21 minutes and 53.
I had 21.55 for 1-stop.
They have you going from the hypers to the ultras or hypers to supers?
Hypers, ultras, hypers.
That's what I like doing too. I like, in my careers, if I do the 2-stop, I'll do, like they usually set me up with the harder and then the 2 softs. But I like to go harder, soft, harder.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I kind of like that. It gives me a nice boost in my second stint, or my second stint after the first stop. I'm weird. I do things weird. It's comfortable for me. Leave me alone. Let's see. Yeah,
right,
tire
well,
pressure.
I'm ready to go
set.
anywhere, sir.
Yeah, I think I'm ready too. Yeah, I'm ready. I had a shit ton of understeer going into turn 2.
We're looking good from the start. Great work. That's a new fastest lap for the race.
So when was your first pit stop? On lap 4?
Yeah, it's coming up.
4 and then 12?
Yep.
Okay. My first stop is on 11. My tires are going to be predicted to be around 48% by that time. Hopefully I can make them last.
Okay, clear.
God damn it.
A little Tokyo drift through that little turn there. Oh, yeah.
That just fucking pissed me off.
My back tires are 6% higher than my front. I've done a lot of drifting. I don't know if the rears are going to last another 6 to 7 laps. I'm like 1.1 seconds off the pace on that lap. Might have to start short shifting that turn. Keep the power down.
Yeah. Joy. I didn't even get to make it to my first pit.
Were you on your in lap when it happened? Or close to it?
I was on my in lap.
The gap behind us is 8.2 seconds.
What turn was it at? Was it the one that I just passed? Or was it the one where Stroll went flying last year? The end of Sector 1, I think it is.
Yeah, right at the end of Sector 1. Okay. It cracks the same as Rojan did. Yeah, right before turn 5.
Okay, update on the car for you. Tyres are looking very nice. You shouldn't have to worry about the wear too much right now.
I fucked up my wing right at the end of 4. And coming into 5 and 6.
Oh, just like understeered right into the wall?
Yep. And my fucking tire came off. I was like, oh, you son of a bitch.
Ooh, Hulkenberg's in second. I mean, Hamilton must have pit. Driver behind.
The gap to the car behind is 21 seconds. They're on old Ultra Softs. Their tyres are 7 laps old.
That means like
the time last lap
a whole
was
bunch of them must have pit
15
at the same time.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm a full pit stop ahead.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the Hyper Softs.
Well, my buddy's hit me up to play some shit with him. He's being an asshole about it. I got nothing to tell him. Fuck off. Maybe.
I got virtually no battery power left. Like the last 4 laps, I've been basically in mode 2. Going it into high occasionally, but this track is very hard on the ERS. I haven't set a fast sector, I think, since lap 3. I have no deployment. I suppose I could use it all up until I hit 0. I like having that cushion, though.
Yeah, that cushion is Hey, you want to do this again?
What do you mean?
By have another race night?
Oh yeah,
I just realized it's like midnight here.
Yeah, I can do Friday.
The battery is low on energy.
Okay.
Reduce ERS deployment.
Okay, this is my own lap.
Pit window open. Let's box this lap.
I'm starting to feel nauseous.
I'm only getting about every third or fourth word.
I said, I need to get off because I'm starting to feel a little nauseous, so I'm going to go get some food in my belly because the meds I'm taking.
Okay.
But, if you're good for Fridays, let's do this again, and hopefully I will be in a better condition next time.
Yeah.
Remember, box this lap. Keep an eye on your distance to the speed limit line as you approach, and make sure you don't speed.
But, hey man, it was a pleasure talking and racing with you again.
Yeah, same here.
I will talk to you later.
Alright, take care.
Alright, you have a good one.
Exit now. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
Oh shit, I didn't check to see what my tire wear was. Probably on like 30% tires. Probably could have done another 2 or 3 laps on those. I'm gonna be tempted to want to pull out like really fast times on these tires, but no, I can't. So why I put it up into rich there, I'm on my out lap, crying out loud. A little bit of a corner cut. But didn't get a penalty, so. Or a warning. If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Our gap behind is 16.3 seconds.
That was questionable.
Yellow flag.
We've lost 2 drivers. I can see debris. It's obviously... Ooh, that looks like it's a Sauber. Driver behind.
Okay, the gap behind is 17.7 seconds. They're on old Ultra Softs. Their tyres are 6 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:14.2. We're at +1 lap of extra fuel. Fuel target +1.
4 to go at the line.
We have 5 laps of fuel remaining.
trying to think of things to say, but just can't really think of anything. Try and fill up some battery and go for a flat out fast lap. Just not getting a lot of recovery even in zero.
The gap behind us is 22.7 seconds.
One more lap to try and get enough charge. If I can get up to about 70 or 75% charge on the battery.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
Just a tenth down with no battery help. What fuel? Whoa! Pay attention. $82. All right. Lost like 5/10 going through sector 2. Oh, that was questionable.
This is your final lap of the race.
Not gonna bother going into hot lap. Oh, I think I just screwed it up there. Don't want to run out of deploy. Oh, look at that train. Holy shit. Kind of like the train I ran on your mom last night. And that's my one pillow. I think that hairpin turn just completely blew any positive time I had left.
You're hitting the energy deployment limit and losing ERS power.
Nope, couldn't set a fast lap. Look at that helmet design. Almost dead on with the color scheme. Gotta love that helmet. Gives really good helmet.
For the podium celebrations, and it's going to be Haas picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for coming out on top
no
in that amazing
mention of a Canadian winning the Canadian Grand Prix. So bad for Whip. I wish he'd been more careful. No, I wish he hadn't had that bad turn. Like one bad turn just ruins an entire weekend. Yay, hit level 15. It's the only way I've been gaining levels. I don't do online racing in lobbies, ranked or otherwise. Because people are dicks. Oh, I didn't want standings. Race director. Holy hell in a handbag. That is a lot. Okay, Raikkonen and Whip both exchange paint. And then the terminal damage, but no collisions with anybody. Hartley with terminal. Mark is out. Ericsson with mechanical. Yeah, I don't think that's what... Oh, it might have been. Because I saw a lot of debris going into turn 1. So that probably... He got the warning while still on lap 6. And then crashed out after crossing the finish line starting lap 7. Oh, wow. No warnings, no penalties. Alright, well that was the Canadian Grand Prix. And since I'm by myself, I don't think it will let me go any further. I think I can practice for, yeah, it'll let me practice, but I won't be able to race, so I'll still do it. What the hell? See how bad I am at Paul Ricard. I mean, I'm not bad per se. I'm certainly not great. I'll just go with a regular balanced. But yeah, it won't let me go into qualifying. It'll just close down the lobby, because then, you know, people could race against the AI in, even though they're unranked lobbies, still get XP. But what I'll do is just drive for the entire 30 minutes and get as much XP as I can. I'm not above being a dirty cheat. Now let's see how weird this.
Quick note about tyres. Just bear in mind we have to return the 2 most worn sets at the end of this session. They're gone forever at that point, so be careful how and when you use them, and don't waste any sets that you might need later on.
See, every single time, it drives me crazy. I know it's the same setup that I did for Canada. I think it's the same... Oh, I'm not saying it's the same for straights and shit like that, but same tires, I think. I don't know. This is basically my default setup, and if it feels good, I stay with it. Oh wow, that is a lot of tire pressure. I tend to oversteer going into turn 2. When you crest that hill, it's a right-hander. I tend to, when I crest the hill, drift or understeer a little off the track. But I love that this has long runoffs. No walls right there. And I am on...
We'll make the changes you requested.
See, that attitude. That friggin' attitude. You gotta change that, Cody's. Do not make him sound like, you know, he's an exasperated husband or wife when, you know, you ask them to take out the garbage 7 times in a span of 5 minutes. And they don't want to get off the couch with their hand down their pants. Not that way, you know, like the Al Bundy. Oh, shut up now. Yeah, he should be in front of me by the time I come out of the pits. I don't mind if a car is right in front of me and there's nobody behind me, because then I can back off and let them gain some time. But if I've got somebody behind me and I'm trying to back off from the guy in front of me, I don't want them to pass me.
Yet. Track is still
so I tend to
try and take it easy for the first
be a bit of an
laps.
ass when it comes to that. And I also don't like this pit exit. it's on the racing line going right into a turn. I don't know how many times I've seen cars crash out in my careers because of that one simple fact. And the AI is stupid. They just do not know how to avoid crashes. I like the fact that AIs crash out a lot, because it was almost unheard of in the 2017 or the 2016 game where they had terminal damage. Lots of mechanical failures, but not a lot of terminal. So now there's like terminal damage almost every session, at least in my career.
Okay, just want to remind you to keep an eye on your tyre temperatures.
For crying out loud.
There's static over the radio. Say again.
Oh, forgot that. Yeah. I actually did that once when I was in Discord with a friend. I forgot that I had changed my microphone from push to talk to open, and he was talking for like 5 minutes straight without taking a breath, and I went, for fuck's sake, take a breath. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't realize I was on an open mic. I felt so bad. He's not a bad guy. He tends to run, like, talk without taking a breath. Kind of like I'm doing now, but yeah. I've got 20 laps of fuel, that's why I'm not really using rich mix. I'm just doing basically this tire wear long run program. Oh boy. One mistake is exacerbated. Gets worse.
That lap puts you at the top of the table.
Exacerbated, that's it. Ooh. Got away with a little creative track limit. That's it. Man, they keep the track purple for a long time after you set the fastest lap. Like, I've already gone through the first sector and I have no idea. Well, I do, if I was in the top right corner, that I'm, off my delta. But that was sector 2. Hello, welcome to the broadcast. I'm basically by myself now in a lobby, so I'm only doing the practice for Wh1pKrack3r. Won't actually be racing because I didn't bother resetting the lobby. But oh wow. I actually made up time in that final sector. Color me surprised. I'm in a really fuel-heavy car. That's why my times are slow. Everybody else around me is on Ultra. And yes, that's also why a Sauber pulled away from me going through that sector. I'll get to your comment in a second. Please don't feel like I'm being rude. Just want to get on it straight. Oh shit, tagged it. Oh, wow, that was close. Okay, I'll just pause. Yeah, this game's pretty good, but if you wait for another 3 weeks, the 2019 game will be coming out. It's coming out like 2.5 months early this year. So yeah, I think it's June 26th, the 2019 game will come out. But you could probably get this one at a discounted price before then, and you would not be disappointed. I really like this game compared to the 17. I get close and then that dirty air just... Oh, that was sloppy. That was just embarrassing. I don't have damage on, that's why there's no consequences to that incredibly ill-timed lunge. Probably... Oh, if I didn't hesitate... Okay, that was just as sloppy, but there was no contact. Let him go. Who the hell is that? Oh, Danny Rick. Oh, and he's gonna let me go. Oh shit, he was on the inside. Fucking hell. Man, you guys are aggressive. Yeah, my version's a digital version, not virgin. Jeez, I swear it's not the first time with this mouse, but yeah, it is hard to find a physical copy. I'm in Canada, and GameStops usually have 1 or 2 used copies, but I never really trust anything from GameStop. Alright, let's see if we can get past in. Sometimes you gotta lick the stamp and send it. There. I can actually pass people cleanly. Yeah, I honestly, I just started playing the F1 games with the 2016 game. I think I got it in April of 2017, I think it was. And just fell in love with the F1 games. They've gotten better every year that I've been getting the games, and it's just so much fun playing them now. Like I would play the GT Sport, and while they're both racing games, they're just completely different. And like, granted, with GT Sport you get to learn how to drive against other people, but it's just, the physics are different. It's just, I love F1 now. Like, well, I've always loved F1, but it's so much fun being able to play the game on the same weekend as an event and stuff like that. So I wish I could get to Montreal to watch, Canadian Grand Prix. If it came to Toronto, then, I'd be able to see one, because I'm just a couple of kilometers down the road from Toronto. See the guy in second place? That's where I'm from. Not England. No, his name. So yeah. So getting to Quebec is pretty much out of the question. And, the closest American Grand Prix is in, Texas. So it's not really viable for me to get to events. Get through this corner and I'll take a boo. Oh, see, I was running in wrist mix that whole time. Oh wow, you've been playing them for a while. Damn. I guess I would have to say, out of the 3 games that I've had, this is probably my favorite. Although it's not a really big selection. Oh wait, no, I did have Ayrton Senna's game for the Sega Genesis. But I don't remember it all that well. I had fun, and then I can't remember when that game came out, but it wasn't too long before he passed away. And I kind of stopped playing the game after that, because he was my favorite driver with the limited experience I had to F1. And, well, getting Ayrton Senna's game was for someone who is just getting into F1, who do you think their favorite driver is going to be? But I'm not a fan of Ferrari. I like Ferrari as a car. Like watching Magnum PI or, any other shows like that, or Miami Vice. I'm dating myself a little here, but yeah, never was a fan of the Ferrari team. Just, I don't know, I don't know. Yeah. It did, like so much was wrong with it. And then, like, the regulation changes, like safety and all that, it came too late. I'm glad the safety improvements were instituted, but it was like, I don't know, using a Band-Aid to stop the bleeding on an amputation. I know that was just really disgusting analogy, but I think you know where I'm going. It was too little too late, but, it helped the new generation getting into F1 that, the safety was in place. It just had to happen at the expense of probably one of the greatest drivers in F1 history. Like, who knows how many more championships he would have won if he had survived Imola, or if that accident hadn't even taken place. I shouldn't say survived Imola, because I think even if he survived that crash, I don't think he would have been the same person, or at least not the same driver. Yeah, those tiny, I can't get over how tiny those cars were. Like the McLaren, the MP44. Holy hell! It was like a bathtub. Now they're, I don't want to say they're driving like limos, but the cars are very long. They're like, I would say like the 1970s boats, close to that in length. Nowhere near it as wide, but the cars nowadays, like the Mercedes is the longest car, and I think the widest car out of the 10 teams. And the like, man, like we didn't get a lot of races here in Canada. Like we would piggyback on ABC's Wild World of Sport, and we'd get to see whatever they decided to show from motor racing. And if it was an exciting F1 race, then we got some clips from the race, but they would never show us a race live. It was frustrating as hell. And like, this was in the 80s, and yes, I was alive in the 80s. And it just, like, the kind of coverage, like, we still don't have a lot of great coverage nowadays in Canada. We get FP2 qualifying and race weekend, or during the pre-race and all that shit. But back then, like, I didn't follow F1 just for the fact that, you know, it wasn't on all the time. My dad was in control of the TV. He was English, so he watched a lot of footy on TV while I wanted to watch cartoons. That was the extent of my sports watching. I always, like, he'd put on the Saturday morning football game, and I'd, you know, whine and complain, you know, being a 9 or 10-year-old at the time. But now that we've got more access to the F1, I can't get enough of it. I love watching it. Okay, let me, I've got my iPad set up in front of me, but it's laying flat, so it's hard to read if I raise it up, because, like, I play in bed, because I'm disabled, so I have to play the game in bed, but that's not really relevant. Okay, let me pause. There we go. Yeah, they are really pumping Hamilton's tires, trying to, like, I'm a Hamilton fan, and even I think it's sometimes ridiculous how much they're comparing him. Like, I'm not going to take any one of his 5 championships away from him. Even if he is in the fastest car, he still has to go around in circles to win. But they're two different eras. You can't really compare, like, you can't say that Hamilton is the greatest of all time, even if he gets 8 world championships, because it's a different era. Like, I would be, you know, happy to say he is one of the best, but I would never qualify and say he is the best. And it's hard for me to say that, you know, Schumacher was the greatest F1 driver. even though he does have 7 world championships and, you know, all that, he did it in a different era than, say, Prost or Senna or Clark. You know, it's just, he was the greatest of his era. I can say that without reservation. And I can also say that between Hamilton and Vettel, I think Hamilton is the best of their generation, even though Hamilton has been around, 2 seasons longer? 2 or 3 seasons, something like that. But I still think that Hamilton is the greatest of his generation. Just, you know, by the fact that he won 4 championships in 5 years. You know, but I wouldn't say he is the greatest of all time, and I don't think he was on par with Senna. I'd say they're in the same conversation, but yeah. I think we differ slightly there, but I respect your opinion. I get annoyed during his interviews. Well, I'm also I'm an atheist, and I don't go in for all that. You know, I'm blessed, or you know, what annoyed me was Monaco. When he came across the radio and said that, well, if I win, it'll be a miracle. And I think the cynic in me says that, or thinks that he said that just so that, you know, when he won it, he could say it was a miracle. And, you know, do the whole religious side, but that, you know, that is extremely cynical thinking, but, I don't know, I don't like the way he does his interviews. But, you know, also, like, the British press, they haven't really had someone to, you know, get all excited about since Hill, pretty much. Because Button only had the 1 championship, or was it 2? I can't remember. But, yeah, well, I think, yeah, 1. Yeah, yeah, he came into the, like, he was sponsored, basically by Mercedes for his entire career, and, with the McLaren youth and all that. Like, it's hard to fault him if he starts in a top team. Like, honestly, what's he going to say? Oh, no, sorry, I'll wait for a back market team to hire me. So, like, I can't fault that or use that against him at all. Like, yeah, a lot of people would probably do really well in a top car. But in the 5 years that he was partnered with Rosberg, Rosberg won the title once. Not taking anything away from Rosberg, he's still a great driver. But yeah, the British press, they pump his tires so hard that sometimes it does get unbearable. A lot of the times I don't like listening to his interviews, just for that fact that they, you know, they just go on and on about how he's revolutionizing, you know. Like, I can agree with you on a lot of points where he's pumped up a hell of a lot more, but than, you know, some other drivers. And I think mainly, although I can't say for certain, but I think a lot of the reason that the British press did pump him up were for kids, you know, in the lower divisions and stuff like that, get interested in motorsports, knowing that they've got, like in England, that they've got a world champion, you know, built right in, and that is also cynical thinking of me as well. But I don't know, it's hard to distinguish what is cynical thinking by the press and the teams and shit like that, and what is just legitimately, oh, okay, well, that's what we thought and stuff like that. So yeah. There's something else you. Okay. Yeah. Well, Ferrari they've been in the conversation, and so has Red Bull. Red Bull not as consistent, but I'm also not a Vettel fan, so I always laugh when Vettel goes to Ferrari trying to win championships and can't do it. But I have nothing against Vettel. I'm just not a fan. I like his approach to interviews. He's very calm. Doesn't get angry at the interviewer. Doesn't make the interviewer look like an idiot for asking what he thinks is a stupid question. These are all the things that Hamilton does that piss
Just 30
me
seconds left
off.
in the session.
Like, they'll ask him a question, and they'll say something like, "Oh, it seemed like it was a little bit difficult today with the conditions," and he'll look at them and he'll go, "No." Like, it doesn't take much to say, yeah, the conditions were a little tricky, even if you don't, entirely agree with it. Like, these are just questions that the fans want to know and stuff like that, and he always seems to give the interviewer a little bit of grief. And it just seems arrogant to me. And, he's changed so much from when he first joined. But I'm still a fan of, I'm a fan of him, not necessarily Mercedes. But, yeah, it's little things that just annoy me with him, but I'm still, I guess, at the heart of it, a Hamilton fan. Like, I have British heritage, so it's, like, I like having a British driver to cheer for. Now I have more, and I do not like Stroll. Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah, anybody who comes into Ferrari, it's almost like they're like, okay, this is what Schumacher did. In order to be successful, you have to do as well as him. So you could argue that Schumacher ruined Ferrari. As much as he turned them around in the, from the late 80s, not that he was with the team in the late 80s, but that, how, I'm not going to say how bad they were, but they weren't a top tier team until the late 90s, early aughts. And, him, Jean Todt, Braun, and I've forgotten who else. I don't know if it was Ron Dennis, but, those four basically turned Ferrari around, and they've been trading on that reputation ever since. And, like, they've had the car this year to compete. And, small mistakes that, Mercedes are making. Like, Mercedes has made, their fair share of mistakes this season, but they've come at times when it just wasn't that big of a deal. But Seb, I don't know, I guess he likes to do donuts on the track, because, from, I guess, Monza on last year, he, and I guess China at the early, but you could blame that on Max. But yeah, oh man. Well, he does have a car to compete, but I don't want to say that he makes dumb mistakes, but he tends to make dumb mistakes that, like, you don't expect from a 4-time world champion. It's behind the wall where a lot of their problems are, like with their strategies, the decision making. He is definitely an excellent driver. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think he is world class. Charles is showing how good of a car that Ferrari has, but he has also been, he's been hampered with the team orders, leaving them out a little bit too long, not pulling the trigger on the team orders when they need to, like waiting 3 or 4 laps and then triggering the team orders. It's just, like, I know Mercedes, they have team orders and stuff, but for like the first half of the season, they don't, I can't say it again, I can't say for a definite, but they, oh yeah, those Ferraris, like, they've got the engine. If man, but yeah, as I was saying before, like, Mercedes will wait until, the Drivers' Championship starts to shake itself out before they start issuing team orders. Ferrari was issuing the team orders in Melbourne. I'm like, holy hell. Like, I know that they have a 1-2 structure at Ferrari, and everybody knows that, and they don't make it a secret, but, since their last World Championship, they've had nothing. So you'd think they would start thinking, okay, well, if we've got a good driver and we've got an up-and-coming driver, let them fight it out. Like, the up-and-coming driver could make their number 1 driver race better. It's like he's gotten so complacent because Raikkonen was constantly, told, you're number 2, you're not important. Well, but yeah. I've thought the same thing sometimes too. Like, get out and push. But, like, honestly, that engine is the best engine on the grid. Or it was at the start, unless Mercedes were completely sandbagging it in winter testing, which every team does. Every team sandbags. But the level to which Mercedes must have been sandbagging, if they've got the stronger engine, like, they must, after every day of testing, they go back to wherever, I can't remember where their home base is, and giggle like schoolgirls. They're like, oh, everybody thinks we're so slow, or everybody thinks Ferrari's so fast, and we're going to show them. It's like, I can, yeah, they did sandbag, but, well, yeah, I don't know, that I don't agree that Ferrari is garbage. They have decision-making behind the wall that is questionable at best, but they have a competitive car. They absolutely have a competitive car. Charles would have driven away from the rest of the field in Bahrain if not for durability. Like, the car, I've forgotten what part it was, MGK or MGUH, but, or a cylinder, I think it was. That's just reliability. The speed was there. He would have done what Valtteri did in Melbourne. He would have finished like a good 20 seconds ahead of everybody. Like, his lead was so big that he still ended up finishing third. And he had the issues with like 9 or 10 laps to go. And also, Vettel's spin didn't hurt him all that much. Yeah. Toto Wolff is also guilty of that. Saying, like, every weekend he says that we're playing catch up, so you can't throw it all at the British press's feet. Toto does tend to play the underdog. Like, in the first 3 or 4 races, he was playing it hard. Like, that was his only card at the table. He's like, well, we're the underdogs. They're so much faster. I'm not sure where we're going to find and I'm not going to try and do an Austrian accent. He's like, I don't know where we're going to find the time, but, we have to do better. And then, first 5 races of the season, 1-2. So, like, they were sandbagging a lot. And also Ferrari's decision-making has been questionable. Like, their strategies and tactics have just not been good. Like, that's a midfield level strategy that they've been deploying. It's just ridiculous. But despite that, they're still, granted, third in the constructors. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, the amount of crying that he did in Monaco about his tires, like, I don't know how many times his engineer would say, you know, we can get to the end of the race. I bet he was dying to just say, Lewis, shut up and drive the car. That was getting on my nerves. Like, every, 2 minutes, I would actually love to hear the unfiltered radio from the Mercedes team. Just his car, as to, you know, all the whining and complaining that they didn't show on the broadcast. I think they chose the best to play on the broadcast. But it was ridiculous. Like, I know, here I am, like, I'm a Hamilton fan, and I am bashing him hard. But, it's just the little things that he does and says drives me crazy. But, you know, he is, like, you can't take away from the fact that he is a good driver. With how little, like, he may be in the best car, but he doesn't make as many mistakes as Vettel has in the last 2 years. And Vettel, you know, everybody considers Vettel one of the best drivers on the grid. Now that Fernando's gone, I wasn't always a Fernando fan either, but I had to admit, you know, he is a good driver in a very poor McLaren car, or was. And yeah, yeah, like the Ferrari does use very little downforce, and it's like I can't remember who said it on what broadcast, but he just has to get tapped like very gently, and the car just spins like a pendulum. It's just like the front end is planted, and I don't know if not a lot of, like, he doesn't boost the throttle when he starts to spin, not like Grosjean did at Spain last year. That was ridiculous, throwing out that smoke screen. But yeah, that car is unstable at slow speeds. It's fairly planted at the higher speeds. They just haven't come across a lot of tracks yet where you know, they have mid to high speed turns. Like China, when he spun, was at that the hairpin coming down that long straight. I don't know the turn number. When else did he do it? In Spoon with Max last year. Although that is kind of well, it's a double apex turn. I wouldn't call it a slow speed turn. It's like a mid speed, but yeah. Well, powerless car? I don't know. Like, I don't think that car doesn't have power. There may be some things wrong with it, but that engine is still a very capable engine. Like, it's ridiculous to say that he would have to get out and push the car to go faster, because that engine does have power. I know this doesn't mean much. It has more power than the Honda. But yeah, it's not in. I wouldn't say it's in the same. Like the two cars combined, like the Mercedes and the Ferrari, they are not close if you compare all parts of the car. The engines, I would say they're very, very complementary, but the like the other parts, it's unstable at low speeds, but I don't think it's a powerless car. I think I will have to respectfully disagree with you on that one. But and yeah, and I'm not a Ferrari fan, so I'm not fanboying or anything like that. Oh crap! Let's see how many. No incidents in that. Damn. I think I would say the mistakes were more like well, driver error, but yeah, they're absolutely they're exponential with an unstable car. Like the low speed at Azerbaijan going into the castle section with Charles, that was unstable as hell. I will absolutely agree that that car is crap at low speeds. Absolutely, like, not as bad as a Williams. Yeah. Like the car is definitely unstable at low speeds. Higher speeds, it's planted, but again, I don't think it's a powerless car. But yeah, like this year has exposed a lot of problems with that car, and I think they're scrambling to figure out why, seeing as winter testing, I wouldn't say went great for them. Like I think it went as they expected, but I don't think they expected to be that far, or at least the commentators didn't expect them to be that far ahead. And I think we can agree that Mercedes were definitely sandbagging a lot. Like the kind of okay. What, that they're a powerless car? Is that the theory you're talking about? I definitely feel that the Mercedes engine right now is faster. Considering this weekend they're coming up with an upgrade, although it's not a major power upgrade, it is an engine upgrade. But yeah, I would definitely say compared to the Mercedes, the Ferrari is underpowered. Compared to the Honda, they're overpowered. Also compared to the Renault, I think they're overpowered. So definitely not the best engine on the grid, but they're not the worst and not the middle. Whatever kind of little gap that puts them. I think Spa is the next. Oh yeah, that's right. They'll make me restart. What track should I do it? Monza? Okay. So you want me to put the wings at 1-1? I always forget to cut that shit out. Oh yeah, you'd definitely be fast in the straight lines. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I know you'd be slower in the corners because you don't have the grip. I wasn't debating that or anything like that. Like I know the physics of that. I like my setup specifically.
Right, I'll get these changes made. Let's get a few laps under our belt.
Cold track, but we'll excuse that. But yeah, they have to go with lower downforce to match the power that the Mercedes has. That's been their Achilles heel. And that will definitely affect them in the low speed. It's unstable. Man, why do the drivers always lock up right in front of me? Yep. The Ferrari tend to use lower downforce because the Mercedes have a stronger engine, but their engine isn't powerless. Like, it's not the worst engine on the grid. That's all I'm saying. I'm not arguing that that they've got the best engine or, you know, anything like that. They don't have the best engine, but they also don't have the worst engine. That was a sloppy braking zone. Holy hell. I don't normally drive a Ferrari. Yep, absolutely. Agree with you there. Like, you're saying this stuff like you think I don't agree, or that I don't know that. Like, I'm not saying that Ferrari is the best car on the grid. I'm not saying they've got, you know, the best engine.
You've just put in the quickest lap of the session so far.
I agree with virtually everything you said, except when you say that they have a powerless car. That is hyperbole. And while I absolutely respect your opinion, I don't necessarily agree. That's the only thing I was saying. Just one, I wish that a car would like try and tap me going into that chicane just to see if I would spin around like a pendulum, like Seb did. Yep. It didn't do too bad going into that chicane. Oh, cloud of death. Very unstable at low speeds. Mind you, a lot of cars are with a 1-1 arrow set up.
Right, come in at the end of this lap. Box this lap, please. Box this lap.
Gotta love it when they tell me to box this lap after I told them I'm boxing this lap. Okay. Shit, you know what? I think this is the first time I've ever driven a Ferrari at Monza. Thank you for that. Oh, jeez. I swear I'm not 14 years old. My voice cracked. Thank you for that. Okay. It's usually the, against a Corvette.
Our best lap so far is a
in an F1
1 minute
car?
22.9.
Probably. Why would you think I would think that? Do I think I could win against a Corvette in a VW Beetle? That's a little out of left field. Are you comparing the Ferrari to a VW Beetle? Or is the Mercedes a Beetle? Honestly, I don't even think a Williams could beat a Beetle.
At the end of this session, we need to return 2 sets of tyres. We'll give back the 2 most worn sets, so we may as well get the most out of them while we can. They won't be available for the rest of the weekend, though, so don't run too hard on anything you might need later on. Checks complete. All personnel be aware, we have a car lead.
Well, with that statement, you sound like a Ferrari hater, which, you know, it's not being realistic at all. Like, that's just bashing a Ferrari for the sake of bashing a Ferrari. The Ferrari is not as bad as you're making it out to be. It's not a great car, but it's not that bad. Like, if you want to be like realistic and you know, completely impartial, then, you know, an argument like that, you know, is just, it's not a realistic argument. That's just, I hate Ferrari, and I'm going to say they're as bad as they, you know, as I want, and I have nothing to back it up. Like, if they were as bad as you're claiming them to be, then, you know, they wouldn't be finishing races. They wouldn't be finishing in the, well, at least in the top 10. And I think we both know that the car isn't as bad as you're saying it is. It's not the best. I'll be like the first one to agree with you there. But they're not that bad. In the points, yep. Yep, they're absolutely behind Red Bull in the points. But I think on paper, that car, like, if Ferrari hasn't been making as many mistakes as they have behind the wall, they're, you know, they would be in either second or first. And I'm saying this realistically and not as a Ferrari fanboy, because I'm definitely not. But, and I'm also saying that Red Bull is not that, I'm not saying that Red Bull isn't that far behind, because they are right on the heels of Ferrari, absolutely. And I absolutely wish that Red Bull was ahead of Ferrari. You know, when it comes to it, like, Red Bull being ahead of Ferrari in the point is, like, that feat in itself is awesome, because it's basically just Max doing that. I don't rate Gasly very high. And, oh man, the only thing that I want for Ferrari is for Charles to do well. I'm not a Charles fanboy, but I do like that kid. He's a talent. He's a generational talent. I'm not going to compare him with, you know, the greatest in the sport or anything like that, but yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, F1 that they are split up into different tiers, and I absolutely hate that. But I don't want to see them to become the next NASCAR. I absolutely hate NASCAR, and that was my fear when Liberty took over, that they were going to try and Americanize F1. And if you're American, I apologize. I'm not trying to be offensive or anything like that, and if I am, I absolutely apologize. But I just don't like North American sports where you know, playoffs are so prevalent. Like hockey, I love hockey being Canadian, and I can't think, I cannot picture the NHL without playoffs. That being said, I cannot understand for the life of me how a racing series can have playoffs. It's just, like, the whole point of a racing league, you score the most points, you are the champion. Like, it's not you score the most points, and then we wipe those points out, and the top 10 continue, and then whoever wins that is the world champion. To me, that is not the spirit of racing at all.
Okay, just want to remind you to
and
keep an eye
I'm
on
sorry
your
if I'm a little off topic.
which you can do on the temperature panel of the MFD.
Oh, shut up, Jeff. You're crying out loud.
Say that again, we're having trouble receiving.
Yeah, you just didn't want to hear me say shut up. But yeah, but yeah, that was my fear, was that Liberty takes over and then they institute, you know, NASCAR-like playoffs and stuff like that. But short of giving everybody identical chassis and identical engines and just say the aero is up to you, I don't know how F1 can fix the problems that they have of the disparity. That's the one thing I don't like about F1 is the disparity between the teams. It is the gulf between, the top three. It's like English football with the top four. Everybody else fights for, to not be relegated. And the top four are fighting for the championship. Money, it always comes down to which team's got the most money. And the annoying thing is Ferrari has the most money of everybody, and they still haven't won a championship in over a decade. That just makes me laugh. I'm sorry. It makes me giddy as a schoolgirl. Like, and that with them threatening to leave the sport, I'm like, okay, go. You may think F1 doesn't need you, but F1, I think, can survive without Ferrari.
Box this lap.
But Ferrari cannot survive without F1. Because F1 is where Ferrari gets, like the company itself, not the team, gets the majority of its money. And it just makes me laugh every time they threaten to leave. Sorry if I'm getting off topic. I haven't had a chance to look down at the last thing you've written. Okay, now I can. Sorry about that. Well, I think Ferrari and Red Bull would absolutely disagree with being classed as 2 tiers below Mercedes. I think they're both. I think Ferrari is fringe tier 1, but I would have no problem putting them in tier 2. Red Bull is definitely entrenched in tier 2. After that, yeah, it's a toss-up as to who would be tier 3, and obviously you got Williams in tier 12. Yeah, I actually like. I would be happy. Honestly,
1:22.8.
Sorry, I sound like I'm waffling, but I think I would be happy if there was one engine manufacturer, and then everything else was left up to the teams to try and push out whatever kind of performance they could get. But there's also the competitiveness of having an engine that is really good and trying to beat that engine. Just so far, nobody has been able to do it. Like Mercedes, right out of the gates with the turbo hybrid era, it would seem that they had it nailed. They nailed it, and everybody else has been playing catch up ever since. I pray for the day when like Ferrari and Honda. I love to make fun of Honda because I'm a McLaren fan, and I hated the Honda engine when they first came back. Like every McLaren fan did. But like I wait for the day when these engine manufacturers finally have that eureka moment. But it's not happening as quickly as anybody wants it. Like, I know Mercedes love winning championships, but they want to be
the forecast is good for this session.
Challenged.
Dry weather all the way.
I'm not going to speak for them and say that they hope that they can be challenged, but I think it's safe to say they want a challenge, because you can't get better if you've got no competition. And right now, it doesn't seem like they have a lot of competition, but there are weekends where they get their ass handed to them. It hasn't happened this week or this year, but true, yeah. If there was a spending cap, that's another North American construct, is the salary cap or spending cap. That Ferrari money, I honestly think that that whole I've forgotten the term they use for the money they get at the beginning of the year, but if all of that money generated in the season is distributed equally, then the lower teams would have that kind of money to make their car better. It wouldn't happen overnight, but and the second you mention we're gonna start distributing the money equally, Ferrari will be like, nope, I'm gonna take my ball and go home. And I would love to see F1 call that bluff. I would love it.
Like, sixth in the speed
Mercedes doesn't get a lot of money
6 kilometers per hour
for no, I still can't think of the bloody word that they use, but the legacy money, I think, because they haven't had an uninterrupted time in the F1 like Ferrari has. He'd expose himself? Well, we don't want him exposing himself. But, yeah, there's been a lot of rumors going around that Ferrari and Mercedes would switch their drivers. But, like everybody knows that the Mercedes is a strong car. Like, I don't think Vettel is a better driver than Hamilton. I think they're fairly closely matched. I think Vettel would win a world championship in a Mercedes, but he would still make the same mistakes he does in a Ferrari. Mental mistakes, maybe not mechanical mistakes. I think because he's not in the fastest car, that he tends to ride that edge a lot more than Hamilton does, because Hamilton knows he doesn't need to push that edge. There have been several qualifying sessions where Hamilton had to dig deep, like Singapore last year. That absolute monster of a qualifying lap. Bottas is in the same car. He didn't come close to that lap. Yeah, well, yeah. Mercedes does have an OP car.
1 minute 22.8.
But saying Vettel would expose it, like, that would be like, I don't know, going up to a giant and saying, you're tall. I think everybody knows that he's tall. Everybody knows that Mercedes is OP. I don't think Vettel would expose that. It's just, I honestly don't think that he would expose that, because everybody already knows it. That, but the like the Red Bull car was better than all the other cars in the early teens. Weber couldn't get the same out of the car as Vettel could. I'm not saying that Vettel is, the best driver. I'm not saying Hamilton's the best driver, but they are two equally matched drivers. And how am I avoiding what you're saying? Vettel would expose Mercedes' OP car. We know it's OP. What do you think Vettel would win every single race he enters that car? Like, do you think he would do a better job in that Mercedes than Hamilton has done? I think he'd give him a good run for his money, but I don't think he would be exposing anything. Everybody knows it's a fast car. Like, I wholeheartedly agree that the Mercedes is the best car on the grid. What I don't agree with is that the Ferrari is garbage. The Ferrari has its strengths and weaknesses just like the Mercedes has its strengths and weaknesses. But it doesn't mean it's a garbage car. Yeah, I have to disagree with you. I don't think Vettel would win every single race. Like, Hamilton has won, what is it, 4 of the first 6 races. Bottas has gotten the 2 out of the 6. And you think that Vettel would have won all 6 races? It's entirely possible. It's discounting Bottas's contribution. I'm trying to be realistic, and I honestly, I don't think you're trying to be realistic. Like, you're just saying Vettel is a god. Well, probably not, but I agree. He is a well-matched driver with Hamilton, and if he was in the Mercedes, he would be winning just as much as Hamilton. Who's to say if he would win more? Who's to say that Hamilton would win more? Until it actually happens, you can't really definitively say that he would win every single race. Yeah. But that doesn't make him the best driver ever. I know that's not what you're saying. He is a good driver. But until he's in the Mercedes, everything is speculation. And, you know, to say that he would win every single race as a definitive, I think is arrogant in the least.
So far, our fastest lap is a
I'm not saying I'm not saying he's not a really good driver. He is. I give him absolute credit for being a great driver. He is wringing a lot out of that car. He has to drive it on the edge because it is not as good as the Mercedes, but it's not crap. It just keeps coming back to that. It's not a garbage car. I don't think he's miles ahead of Hamilton. I think they're evenly matched or closely matched, but I don't think he's miles ahead of Hamilton. I'm the last person to be pumping Vettel's tires, but I'm also not the Hamilton fanboy that doesn't listen to reason. I try and realistically weigh my thoughts when it comes to my opinion or statements, stuff like that. Not because I'm a huge Hamilton fan that I think Hamilton is the best driver. I think he's an exceptional driver, and so is Vettel. Beyond that, it's hard to quantify who is better. If Vettel spent 6 years in the Mercedes, and then at the end of those 6 years, then you could compare the two. If they were teammates for those 6 years.
Okay, just want to remind you to keep an eye on your tyre usage.
There. Sorry. I hate it when Jeff just pops up and starts yapping. Anyway, comic relief. I apologize if I'm sounding argumentative, but I don't mean to be. What the hell? Oh, yeah. I don't mean to be argumentative, and I appreciate the discussion. It's been absolutely fun, and I want to thank you for engaging. I haven't had a lot of people to talk to about, holy shit. Oh, I thought we were 1,000th of a second apart, not 2 seconds apart. But, yeah, I absolutely appreciate the back and forth. It's been great. Like, if you haven't already, please subscribe and watch some more, oh, God. I keep losing words. I apologize. Broadcast. Yeah, it's one of those days. But it's almost 2:30 in the morning my time, and so I'm going to be calling it a night. But again, absolutely thank you for for the discussion. It has been great, and while we don't see eye to eye, I absolutely respect your opinion, and you know, I don't know what else I can say. It's just that you know, I enjoy a different point of view, and it's refreshing, to be perfectly honest. And I wanted to thank you for that. And I'm gonna call it a night, and thank you for watching. So, any parting shots or whatever you want to throw, go ahead, and I won't take offense. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. My name's Dave, by the way. I go by Bullet Gaming, but my name's Dave, and I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm Canadian. So, it's great talking to you, Alex. Hopefully you tune in, I think next Friday. Whip and I could possibly be doing... I also post videos on Star Wars, The Old Republic, on my computer. And I sometimes stream there or broadcast those. So, you know, feel free. And take care. Have a great night. Peace.